In this journey called life, many people chase after big moments. They dream of breakthroughs, of overnight success, of that one massive achievement that changes everything. But here's the truth. Life rarely transforms in one giant leap. Life changes in tiny, consistent steps, what I call small wins. Think about it. A student who graduates with honors didn't achieve it in one night of studying. An Olympic athlete didn't earn that medal from one workout. A successful entrepreneur didn't build an empire with a single lucky decision. No, it's not the small daily actions. It's the hidden hours, the ordinary choices nobody claps for you, that eventually create extraordinary results. This is the power of small wins. They are the invisible bricks, the quiet building blocks of every great success story. And here is the best part. Small wins create momentum. They create confidence. They create that unstoppable belief that yes, you can do this. Now let's go deeper. Why do small wins matter so much? The answer is in your brain. Every time you achieve even a tiny goal, your brain rewards you. It releases a chemical called dopamine. That's the same chemical that makes you feel good after a laugh, a meal, or a compliment. And when dopamine hits, you feel good. You feel progress. You feel like you are taking the next step. Imagine this. You set a goal to write a book. Right now, it feels overwhelming, maybe even impossible. But what if your goal was just one page per day? One page, that's it. Each time you finish a book, your brain celebrates. You feel like a winner, and slowly those pages stack up until one day you are holding a finished book in your hands. That's the psychology of small wins at work. Psychologists call this the progress principle. It means the single most important factor in motivation is not finishing the marathon. It's running that first mile. It's not building $1 million business. It's closing your first sale. It's not transforming your health overnight. It's saying no to soda just once. And here's the magic. When you stack small wins, you build momentum. And momentum is what carries you when motivation fails. Because let's be real, motivation will fade. But momentum is the fuel. Momentum makes sure you keep going even when you don't feel like it. So remember this first truth. Big success is nothing more than a series of small wins, stacked on top of each other. Celebrate them, build them, and let them carry you forward. Small wins may sound simple, but their power becomes clear when we see them in real life. Let me share some stories. Thomas Edison, a man who gave us the electric light bulb. Do you know how many times he failed before he succeeded? Over 1,000 attempts. Most people would have quit after 10, maybe 50. But Edison treated every failure as a progress. Each test taught him something new. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset turned small steps into momentum, and momentum into history. Now let's move into sports. Serena Williams is one of the greatest tennis players of all time, but she didn't wake up as a champion. Her greatness was built through years of small, daily wins, early morning practices, fixing tiny errors, refining her swing bit by bit. Every training session seemed ordinary at the time, but stuck them together and they created a legend. The world saw the trophies. What they didn't see, the thousands of unseen small wins that made those trophies possible. Think about Elon Musk. Today, people look at Tesla and SpaceX and call him a visionary. But go back to the beginning. He didn't start with billion-dollar companies. It began with small coding projects, failed startups, long nights of testing ideas, each tiny breakthrough with investors. each early product improvement. Those were his small wins, and over time, they compounded into companies that changed entire industries. And it's not just famous names. Think about a student. Maybe they failed exams before. Maybe they feel like giving up. But then they decide to study just 30 minutes more each day. At first, it doesn't seem like much, but slowly their grades improve. Their confidence grows. That one decision to add 30 minutes becomes a chain of small wins that changes their future. Or picture a small shop owner. In the early days, maybe only 5 customers walk in daily. That feels discouraging. But instead of quitting, they focus on one small win, serving those 5 customers better than anyone else. Word spreads. Next week it's 10, then 20. The shop grows not from one big break, but from stacking small wins over time. These stories all share the same lesson. Greatness doesn't appear overnight. Behind every invention, every trophy, every business, every transformation are countless small wins. Wins that look invincible in the moment, but unstoppable in the long run. We've seen how small wins build success. But here's the big problem. How do you make small wins part of your daily routine? Let me share some practical tools you can use. Starting today, start with your mornings. The way you begin your day shapes everything that follows. But don't overcomplicate it. You don't need a 2-hour routine. It could be as simple as making your bed, reading for 10 minutes, drinking a glass of water before reaching for your phone. These small morning wins create a chain of reaction. They tell your mind, I'm in control today. I've already started winning. Next, 1-10 rule. Every day ask yourself, what's the one small action I can do today that moves me closer to my goal? It could be sending an email, making one sales call, writing one page, doing 10 push-ups. One action per day may not look like much, but imagine 365 of those actions in a year. That's transformation built quietly. Another tool, write things down. Keep a checklist. When you cross off even a small task, like replying to an email or finishing a workout, your brain gets that dopamine reward. It feels progress. That little check mark may seem small, but it's powerful. Journaling also helps. Writing one sentence of gratitude or one lesson you learned today is a small win that compounds into wisdom and positivity over time. Finally, remember the 1% rule. Ask yourself, how can I get just 1% better today? If you are a student, study one extra page. If you are in fitness, add one more rep. If you are in business, improve one small detail for your customer. Over time, those 1% improvements multiply. They run into massive results that others will call overnight success, when really it was small wins all along. So don't wait for big breakthroughs. Win your mornings, pick your one thing, keep a checklist, apply the 1% rule. Small wins may not look exciting today, but in time, they will build the momentum that carries you to your biggest victories. Now let's be honest, we live in a world that celebrates big wins. The headlines shout about overnight millionaires, viral stars, and sudden breakthroughs. But here is the truth. Those big leaps are rare, and even when they happen, they don't last without a foundation. Small wins beat big leaps every single time. Why? Because small wins build consistency, and consistency is stronger than intensity. Anyone can work hard for a week, but can you show up every day for a year? That's the difference. Small wins makes it possible. Think about fitness. If you work out like crazy for 7 days, then quit for 3 months, you won't see the results. But if you do 20 minutes a day, every day, the result will shock you. The same is true in business, in studies, in relationships. Consistency built on small wins always beats short bursts of intensity. And here is another truth. Small wins protect you from burnout. Chasing big leaps feel exciting at first, but it can overwhelm you. Small wins, on the other hand, are sustainable. They build strength, patience, and confidence without crushing you. So what does this all mean for you? It means that success is closer than you think. You don't need to move mountains in a day. You just need to take one step, then another, then another. The future is not built in giant leaps. It's built in small wins stacked over time. So celebrate your progress, no matter how tiny. Build your momentum. Trust the process. Because one day, when you look back, you realize that small wins you made today were the very foundation of your greatest victories tomorrow. This is your reminder for today. Start small, stay consistent, and let your wins compound. That's how ordinary days create extraordinary lives.